veterinary and been there, done there, seen it, smelled it, stepped in it.
That's it. There's supposed to be more. There's more things you
Oh,
can put.
there's lots. Yeah, there's lots.
Ate it. Ate it is a good one too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Usually, if something
Peter,
bothers my sense of smell, people are running from the room. You know.
Peter, are you expecting any more people?
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's some people that said they couldn't make it. There's some people that I was hoping to see, but I just started the recording anyway, and I know some of them. It's not going to take long because you know if we just want to get a feeling. I was hoping Jean-Michel will be here. I haven't heard from him about that, but I'm recording it anyway. So, most importantly, Vicky is here, and this is. We got a house full of people and they're all speaking Spanish loudly, so I can't hear a thing.
Time that you learn some Spanish.
That doesn't make a difference in them making all the noise. Anyway.
I know, and they all talk at once.
Yes, they do all the time, and the girls they're all having an argument. They're all talking. How can you hear what the other one is saying? Well, I guess they.
That sounds like an American political interview with 5 people all screaming at the same time.
I was going to say, when you're in an argument, you don't want to hear what the other person says.
No.
No, but even when they're not arguing, you know, they're all talking at the same time. In Latin American countries, I find. Don't you find that, Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we have a very high Chinese population, of course, and a few friends in China said basically you have to yell. So all of them are on the cell phone and they're yelling. You know, you're on the phone. You don't have to yell, but they do.
No, right. Anyway, I thought we'd call it because we've talked about this and the developments, the different things that are all leading towards Guatemala. Vicky and the Lake Atitlan project, and there's a lot of stuff happening on that part also. And so if we want to organize something for people from our club to go and visit Guatemala, we have to start planning on that. And so I wanted to, you know, call this meeting just so to see of interest and people that have the possibility of going, and for those that want to take care of organizing that as well. Because I tell right off the bat right now, it doesn't look that Ileana and I will be able to go and join.
Oh, boo.
You know, there's other things involved with that. But it's just that if we want to start getting some ideas, first of all, whether this is something we want to do, and secondly, how are we going to go about it, then this is the time, I think, to start, you know, with that. Yeah. So a quick recap is, and then I'll give it to, I have some maps open too, Vicky, to show, but, you know, on where it is, what we can do, etc. But it all started actually with the connection with Will Bogle from the E-Club of Panazagel in Guatemala, who participated in the best practices for E-Clubs in Toronto last year. And subsequently, I visited a House of Friendship where Will was as well, and there were several other people in this booth with the Agua de Pueblo. And that is the organization that for more than 40 years has been working on water supply and all kinds of other things in Guatemala and have a ton of experience. And there are Rotarians, local Rotarians involved, etc. So with that came the idea then to join, as I met Bill Skinner, who is from the Heritage Club in Calgary, to work on that together and work on what now is turning out to be phase 3 of many more phases to go of development of water and sanitation around Lake Atitlan. And so that is where we have the interest, the possibility of doing that, and start going to visit, have a look, and see what's going on. Now, Agua de Pueblo every year in January organizes a a meeting, a get together. They are doing that now for the last few years, and they'll go for like a 10-day trip, something like that, and go to different places. This year, that is combined as in January 14 to 26, and they are combining that with a regional fair, Rotary fair in Guatemala City as well. Don't know if you're aware of that, Vicky, but I'll show you that later as well. But these are the regional fairs that they do in different areas of the world. Rotary does. But besides that, Bill Skinner is also planning a visit of a group of people from District 5360, and they may want to combine with that. And he probably will only take 10, and there's probably 10 already. Jean-Michel has been to some of the meetings there. He's on his list, and there he is. Then that is where another group may be going there as well. However, we have the unique situation of having Vicky there, and we really want to spend time or look at that because she's been inviting us all the time to do that and set up something to go and visit, combine that, because not very far apart, where geographically, it's not very far apart.
That's right. Where I am is about an hour and 15 minutes from the capital. Most people don't spend any time in the capital other than staying overnight going to the airport. But most people go to Antigua, which is just 20 minutes from where we are, and it's a beautiful.
Right, they show it on the screen. Antigua, Guatemala. Guatemala City is right here. Right.
Yeah. And Antigua is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its Spanish colonial architecture and lots of beautiful ruins from an earthquake that happened in the 1700s. And then we're just, if you see where Ciudad Vieja is, see where the 14 is underneath it? We're just to the left of the sea.
Right here.
Yeah, just to the left of the sea. Yeah, right there.
Okay. Right.
So it's a real easy ride, and we have a taxi driver who has like 14 people down, and he often
calls you,
transports people for us. And so it would be great if you guys could come out and visit our after school program. And I also have a friend in Antigua. He's an ex-Rotarian, and the only reason he's an ex-Rotarian is because he's deaf in one ear and he found it really hard to hear at Rotary meetings, but he sometimes goes to the Rotary meeting. Anyway, he's got 2 houses right next door to each other with a total of 5 bedrooms, and he rents them out per night. And it's right in Antigua, so it's a really nice spot to overnight or spend a couple of nights. And then you can see, can you show where the lake is? The lake's about 2.5 hours from Antigua.
Right here's the lake.
Yeah. So if you went from Antigua, it's like, oh yeah, there you go. You just highlight.
And here is Panajal, which is where the Rotary Club is. They meet on a Thursday afternoon. But
right. It's not the most beautiful place on the lake, but there are lots of other nice places. But it's a kind of a jumping off ground too.
Vicky, where is Nosberto?
Nosberto's in Guatemala City.
I see. Okay.
But I'm sure he would join us. And in January is the Central American Rotary Conference that they have every 5 years. And so Rotary clubs from all over Central America come, so it would be fun if we could tie into that also.
Hang on, that's right here. We don't have much information on it yet, but this is what we're talking about. Rotary's Central American Project Fair. That's what you're referring to?
Right, but I think it's in Antigua, not in Guatemala City.
It's Antigua, Guatemala, it says. Oh, no, sorry. That's on over there. I think it's Guatemala City. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
Jean-Michel, comment. Do you know where the fair is?
I'm just trying to read the last statement here. I thought it was in Guatemala City too.
your stuff is bouncing around too fast for me.
No, but this is the potential itinerary of the group.
Participate, let me see.
Pueblo.
Can you move it over just a little bit so I can read what it says for Thursday, January 23? Participate in Rotary Central America. I can't see what's the right.
It is the center. I can't do any better.
Okay. Central American Fair, you will have 2 other options, scale, active for government.
No, those are options. Listen, those are options that the local people organize for those that don't want to go to the fair. I searched the net. There is no other information about this particular fair yet available online on the Rotary.
It's called Uniendo.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's called Uniendo in Spanish.
Yep. I know, but this is all that's set are the dates. That's dead. So anyway, it is about, those are all possibilities that a committee, a few people from the club that want to plan this, they say this is what we want to do, investigate more possibilities and pick a few days on how to go. And we also need to, and Vicky hopefully can do that, communicate with the E-Club, here, the E-Club of Lake Adeltland on, to meet with us. And it doesn't have to be these same days. It may be different. By the way, I just want to show you that they mention in here our participation in the feasibility studies that just happened. The $5,900 total that we raised, and we committed monies to that as well. So this is the organization Agua del Pueblo, who is the nonprofit. Well, they're a nonprofit, but they're the ones that have the specialists, the consultations, then all the right people to do all the work, and have been doing work like there for a lot of time, quite a lot of time already.
On my side, I'm interested in, I have a note here that the project fair is it possible? Posada? Is there a place like called Posada?
Say it again?
Posada? I wrote Posada. Anyway, there's a project fair, and I'm interested to see what else is doing, because on my side, I would like to see some of the things that relate to my profession, which is soil erosion, which is part of the problem of human waste reaching the lake. And there is understanding they are trying to grow reeds in the lake to try to mitigate pollution. So I personally am interested in seeing what kind of soil mitigation as far to related to the erosion, because they're going to address the water issue and have latrines and so on, but the problem, the main problem is that there is nothing stopping the dirt from going downhill, soil and so on. And they were telling me that in fact they have people with cart and trucks and things taking soils from the road and moving it back up the hill. So it tells me there's some major problem as far as soil is concerned. So that on my interest, there was, I said to Peter that I'd like to see your school, Vicky. That's one of, and then I want to see the of course, the project, whatever is starting there, and then go to the project fair. I'm not really too keen on doing any tourism at this stage. I enjoy what there is to see, but I would like to see what else could be done there.
But
I am registered to go on the tour if we cannot do our own, and the cost of the tour is around $2,500, if I remember. The 2,600. So far, they say an airfare is about $900. Hotel, they budgeted around 50 a night. So anyway, the total cost, including the $3,000 for the vehicle, would be per person about $2,600. That's the estimate as now.
But that is a longer trip with all the different things that they're doing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're
I
doing,
can give you that again if you want me
it's
to.
2 weeks, yeah.
You know, I don't know if that's really what we were interested in or how we, you know, want to go about that. But this is the itinerary where they do a lot of other things and really concentrate on the water stuff. But
That's right.
there are ways to join with that at the same time. That is all to be planned. That's what it comes down to. And you know, so that is where Vicky offers us a very nice opportunity to start with the 5 bedrooms, you know, in you know, like in Antigua itself, right? Is what you said.
Yeah. And I just wanted to tell you, I just found the Project Fair 2020 called Uniendo America, Uniting America, January 23 to 25, located in Antigua, Guatemala.
Antigua. Okay. All right. Good.
It's
So
called,
that's
it's called
right there.
Antigua, Guatemala because it's the old capital. So they call it La Antigua,
Right.
Guatemala, meaning the old Guatemalan capital.
I mean, it's interesting to have your offer. I mean, for 5 bedroom house and so on. To me, that's great. But we also need transportation, right? We need to go from A to B, and to Z, and to wherever you want to go. And that
Right.
also has to be planned.
I
What
was
did-
telling Peter earlier that we have a taxi driver we use quite often, and he's got a 14-seater van. And
Okay.
he's brought groups out to us before, and we've also used him to take us and our kids on field trips, and we've also used him to go to the lake. So that's a possibility.
You know, to have our own vehicle, that's plenty of room, depending on how many people are going, obviously. But so that is where we'd have to see and start putting that together. And the cost doesn't have to be as expensive or as much as what they are mentioning there, depending on the accommodation and the vehicle. And that's something that Vicky probably can figure out for us pretty quick.
Yeah, I can help you with that. You know, they give a figure like that for people who want everything to be taken care of for them. But, you know, if you want me to find accommodations for all of you guys or however many people are there, I can help with that, and also the transportation. That'll keep your costs down a little bit.
Yeah, but you have to realize the Aqua de Pueblo that has been doing that are, you know, they're very experienced. There are a lot of them local people in there as well. And so they're not taking the fancy places and all that kind of stuff too.
Right.
And so it's not a commercial touristically tour that we're talking about. It is geared specifically to that. I met a few of them this year online because they visited the meeting of the E-Club in January, like it is scheduled again this time also. So yeah. So anyway, this is where, you know, we're coming to for actual interest of people to go. I'd like to go down the list and ask what the plan or the feeling or the ideas are, and then to start a group to plan organizing it from that. I can always help, you know, from the back seat of my my office here. But you know, so the nice thing is we have Vicky on the ground. That makes a tremendous difference already too. Well, yeah, we can slow you down when we come, I think. So.
With luck.
And I think Noberto will be very much on
Very Vicky.
you know, involved with it also. So let me just start, Judy.
Yes,
Are you interested?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Well, a little bit.
I'm having with you keep fading in and out all with
Yeah, you're indeed fading in and out.
Yeah, and you're fading out. You would be.
Okay. Next, Kitty, what, you have any ideas, plans, or you're just interested?
I'm just interested to see what's going on and what you're talking about. In January I'll be in Anguilla, and I'll probably have duties to do there. But I'm curious to see. It looks really like a very interesting tour, but I don't believe that I will be able to go.
Here's Guatemala, here's Dominican Republic, and then there's St. Martin somewhere down here.
You just dive into the water and start swimming. I'll pick you up at the Caribbean coast.
Yeah, start swimming, Peter.
That's it.
Okay, Bryce, you just joined us.
Yeah, I'm looking into this. What is the dates that you guys are thinking about?
So far, it just says January.
Yeah.
See, one of the things that I showed you here is this fair. That's a Rotary fair.
Mm-hmm.
That is January 23, 25. So other activities around all this happens between the 14th and the 26th. But we don't have to take part of that. We can invest, other things around it too. But the only set dates that are Rotary related are January 23, 25.
Yeah. So I think that was going to be my big determining factor. I would be good for the beginning of January, and I actually would have seriously considered going on it. But the last 2 weeks of January, we've got a large production for Alberta Industrial Heartland that I need to be on site here for. So that would, if it pushes it into the late weeks, then I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay. That still remains to be seen, but anyway, because it depends whether we actually, go there or what. How about later, like February?
February, I think, would be not a problem. It would be definitely something I'd love to take a camera along with and document some things and whatnot. It would look really great. So February would work for me just fine.
Okay. Well, those are things to consider for those that are going to get together and talk about that as such. People are jumping back and forth here. Next, Jim Kenyon.
Yeah, I would love to do it. The only hesitation at the moment is I've sort of made a commitment to the India project. Unfortunately, the timing of that is dependent on when India declares an NID, the date. And 1 year they didn't do a date anywhere in there. I'll have that information in the coming weeks. I would hope I'll put some pressure on New Delhi to get me those dates. And I may end up flying from Guatemala to New Delhi, but who cares? I'll do it if I can. It's a long walk.
Yeah, well, it all goes through LA. Probably all goes through LA anyway. Or the other way around.
Or Panama.
Yeah.
Or Panama. Yeah, last time I went from Vancouver through Guangzhou and in, but it wouldn't be hard to go Guangzhou and back down.
Ellie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, we'd like to know a little bit more about it. We may be interested. For us, it would have to be after January 22nd. February may also work for us, the first half of February.
Okay. So, that's the other thing to do, is just to throw it out, say we have different dates which is available, and then look at that. I don't know whether we are, stuck. I don't know how many people are actually stuck on or really want to go to the Rotary Fair. It would be interesting, but I think it's more important for us to see both visit with Vicky and see Lake Atitlan.
Yeah, the project should be priority.
Okay, anybody else?
It's always nice to do a little bit of cultural excursions as well.
Darn right.
But we could even organize that on our own afterwards, right? Depending on how long the whole thing is.
Yeah, we can, like I say, it's all open. If there is interest, we need a few people to say, yeah, we're going to work on this, and then put some things together, have a meeting and make some plans. If there is more people that it would fit better to go later in January or February, like in February, then maybe that's a consideration also. There may be others that are not here. Doug Dyer sent me an email, and depending on where they are, they may decide to come over too. So at the particular time, and he doesn't know yet, of course.
Well, I'm already looking at car rentals because I like some of you have suggested already. I like driving around myself and getting into some of the other exploratory stuff. So at one point, I'm sure that would be something I'd be interested in doing.
Bryce,
Well, yeah,
I don't think you want to rent a car and drive here.
Yeah?
No, it's not a good idea.
I've driven in some pretty hairy places already. There's some great reviews on Avis.
Those would be by the survivors, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I drive all the time, but I live here, and it's hard finding signs and signals and knowing what everybody else does. And
I drove all through Europe. I've done China. They're all the same. There's no directions or signs or nothing.
In South Korea, the signs are a good suggestion, but nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's move on. Anybody wants to help organize this? Please.
I'll find out when the India trip is and all of that, and if it looks like it's good, yeah, I can get involved in that.
Okay.
And I can help do on the ground stuff.
Yep. Well, most of that is on the ground stuff. But, I mean, flights, and people may take some days before or after or other things or sidestep because, there's only a few that may come from Canada. There'll be others that are already halfway there, right? So they'll organize their own way of getting. We'll just have to get to the point to say, this is what we're going to do these days and build it around that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in the organization, if you're helping, guess it helps setting dates that you want to do things. So, Jean-Michel, are you limited in time for you?
No, I am. I'm in Mexico, in Cancun, until the 7th of January. I can fly. I mean, it's already on point. It's already paid. It's already. So it doesn't matter which way I go, and I'm open until the beginning of February. After that, I have a trip to India. But as far as this trip is concerned, I already said to the Rotary Club Heritage that I want to keep my seat. I like to make sure that I'm going, right? I don't know if that don't concern me at this stage. I want to make sure I'm going. And the 2 areas I said, I want to see the project. I want to see all the trees. Sure. I want to see the school, and I want to see the project fair because I'm interested in soil water.
Okay, so you would prefer that around that time, for that matter, too.
That's right.
But, yes, and so depending if we organize something that would fit your schedule, then you would come this way rather than take Bill's. The Bill's.
I would say with the people of our club, of course. But it'll be easy to cancel my whatever is going to happen with the club here because I think they're going to be overcommitted. They're already worried having too many people coming. So provided that we have something before, let's say, the end of September, I think it'll be easy to jump out.
Yeah, it's interesting because people say, oh yeah, and they have overcommitted, and then when it actually comes down to the point where they have to send some money, then all of a sudden things change again too. So that is always a bit of the case too. So
well, okay. I will commit to be here.
We hope.
Yeah, and we should get in touch with Noberto as well, and see if he can. I would like him to get and join us as well. So
this project is a project that is basically sponsored by the Heritage Club in Calgary, and they have a group of people who have worked in Guatemala, and I was at an evening with all those people, about 7 people from various clubs, from Olds down to High River and so on, who have worked on various projects in Guatemala. And I learned a lot from what it is to work there. Some have schools, some have, I mean, there was a lady, she had run $1 million a project there herself. And so there are people who have been often to Guatemala, and I'll stay involved with those people because I like to know. As far as my commitment, it will always be with this club. So if this club organizes something, I will go with this club. If we can't get something that stands together, I'm already, number one on the Heritage Club.
Good, awesome. All right, we will see what I'll do is I think what we'll do is send out this recording or send an email to the club again, to the individuals with some questions, for time frame especially, I think is the very first thing on what would be, if you're interested, when would you like to come, etc. So Jim, can you help me with that too, regardless? I mean, you have India, it's just a matter of try that, and Vicky.
I'll put some pressure on the Indian crew, because usually they don't like announcing it to anyone, but my quote little brother is the assistant manager. I'm sure Bonnie can come up with a suggestion or two.
Because this is typical. They need to realize that this is the time that they'll have to, people start planning and nailing down dates for that matter too.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And January is not that far away.
No, it isn't. And Noberto, I don't know if who has the contact information for him?
I have a telephone number for him, but I think I have an email address for him also.
Yeah, just send it to me.
Send it to you?
Yeah, please.
Peter?
Yeah, just email it to me.
Okay, I'm gonna copy you both in on the same note.
Okay.
Okay, I will do that.
Good, and I think Jim and Judy, is planning on, be very interested in coming as well. We'll hear more, from others as well if they want to, and what the best time would be. I think that's as far as we can go at this particular time. Because even if, it doesn't have to be a larger group. If it was 6 or 8 people, 10 people, that's plenty. That would be great to, smaller group at time. Yes, smaller group is much easier to deal with.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. So I've done the wheelchair distributions, and we had about 20, anywhere between 16 and 22 people. And so you got to just put it out there. This is what's available, and then to see, what people do and commit. So, all right. Anything else? Anybody? Any other questions at this time?
You want to come? Guatemala is a beautiful place. January, the weather's perfect.
How is the volcano?
It's smoke 4 or 5 times a day. Other than that, it hasn't done much to worry about.
Okay.
And we'll try and arrange some earth primers for you while you're here. They're always exciting.
I don't need that.
And there's no snowstorms. That's the best part.
Okay.
Because you're looking at, I can show you where actually the volcano is.
You're in El Salvador. It's right near where that sea is that you were looking at before.
I know, it's El Fuego. I got it on here. At what time? Okay. This is the Agua, and this is the Fuego.
That's
and
right.
Here's Antigua, and there you are in here, right?
Yeah, see where it says Santa Catarina Barahona? We're just kind of where the A is.
right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
go up a bit. Go up a bit. Yeah, see that Santa Catarina Barahona or where the A is.
Well,
There are
how
two
many
big
A's? I
pieces
see
that
1,
are
2,
blue
3,
here.
4, 5, 6. So
What?
there's a whole bunch of A's.
Oh, which
So-
A? Which A? A?
I like
one on
them.
the
Is that
left.
A or EH?
The one on the right, bottom right.
8 days.
Yeah, I don't know why Santa Catarina shows up on the map and not San Antonio, because San Antonio is a little bit bigger, but they're
But
right next door to each other.
yeah, but don't rely too much on the accuracy of where it actually is, even if it's Google.
No. And you know what?
Because,
If you put Asociación Creando Oportunidades in Google Maps, it shows you exactly where we are.
right. But here's the volcano, the one that's active. So
Yep.
anyway, lots of things that can be done, etc. There. So good. All right. Well, thank you all very much for your interest.
One more
And
question, Peter. I have one more question. Is this only for members of our club?
hell no.
Okay.
I sent it out to 79 people. I didn't include the bulletins. I think if we have more concrete, yes, we can spread it more. I don't see any reason why it has to be limited to our members. Not at all.
And not just Rotarians.
No.
Not
I
easy.
don't think so.
There might also be 3 Rotarians from Nanaimo coming, because they've come to do stuff with us every year, except they weren't able to come this last January, but they're planning to come next January. And so I told them that maybe you guys were going to come, and I told them about the project fair. And so maybe we'll just have more people.
Yeah. I'll throw it out to the 2 Whitehorse clubs, since they are now part of our district for 3 days.
They're only there for 3 days, or they're.
No.
They're
members.
July 1st, they became our district.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw them out.
They bailed out of Alaska. Wise choice.
Good. Okay. We'll follow up, and we'll get something more planned in the near future for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Peter, can you send me that thing that you've been putting on the screen? Can you fire that to me, just so I know the dates and the activities there as well? What I'll do is I'll dig out the Indy itinerary for last year. I don't have the current one, but I'll send that one to you as well. And then I'll put some.
Yeah, but I think you already have that, but you haven't seen all your emails yet, probably.
You're probably not.
Right. So, okay, that's good. We'll follow up. Thanks all very much. And we'll try and put something together over the next couple of weeks.
Deal.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. See you in January.